and thank you for joining us. I'm Heather Myers. Here at CBS 8, we are working for you and getting to the bottom of problems you've asked about, and we're looking for solutions. We begin with the crash that killed a San Diego police officer and severely wounded another. On Monday night, police tried to pull over a BMW. The driver took off. There was a short, high-speed chase, and a supervisor called it off because of excessive speeds. The BMW then slammed into a police cruiser that was responding to the call. The driver, Officer Austin Machetar, was killed in the crash, and so was the 16-year-old driver of the BMW. The fatal police chase comes as the city's Commission on Police Practices is recommending that SDPD change its pursuit policy. Earlier this month, the commission presented a report saying officers should only initiate pursuits for violent felony crimes. CBS 8's David Gottfredson is working for you and spoke with a public safety advocate.
Vehicles failing to yield. Silver four-door vehicle.
San Diego police were chasing a silver BMW for an infraction, speeding, and failing to yield a misdemeanor. The pursuit only lasted about 2 minutes when the driver collided with a different responding police vehicle.
You're down. We have one stuck in the vehicle left. I need other officers here. We're just right here now. We have an officer in the patrol vehicle.
Current San Diego police policy allows a supervisor to call off high-speed pursuits. They take into consideration public safety, the seriousness of the offense, and the risk to officers.
Due to the high rate of speed, a supervisor terminated that pursuit.
Police Chief Scott Wall told reporters the chase had been called off, but it was too late. The fatal collision comes as the city's Commission on Police Practices is recommending a more restrictive pursuit policy. The commission recommends SDPD change its policy to make clear that vehicle pursuits may only be initiated for violent felonies, according to a report presented by the commission last week.
You do not have to chase them. That is the most dangerous way of apprehending the suspects.
Esther Sionis is a public safety advocate with PursuitSafety.org. I spoke to her in December after 2 young brothers were killed during an SDPD pursuit collision on a South Bay freeway.
More than 90% of chases are performed for non-violent felony crimes. So what Pursuit Safety advocates for is only chasing when there's a violent felony crime.
Sionis' husband was an innocent bystander killed in a police chase in 2012.
It needs to change because innocent victims' lives are too valuable, too beautiful to be lost over somebody who was speeding.
Those pursuit policy changes still are only in draft form, and the Commission on Police Practices can only make recommendations to SDPD. So it remains to be seen whether the department will go along with the changes in the coming months. David Gottfredson, CBS 8.
Tonight, we are hearing from a San Diego sailor who found out that his car was towed, then sold at auction. It all happened while he was on deployment. CBS 8's Brian White spent the day looking for answers in Chula Vista and explains what action the federal government is now taking.
This active duty service member was deployed while his car was towed by Tony's Auto Center. You can see their tow trucks here behind me now. Ultimately, the government is suing over this.
Before Lieutenant Jonathan Leongson went on his first deployment aboard the USS Bunker Hill nearly 2 years ago, he parked his 2011 Mazda 6 here in Chula Vista in front of a friend's house. And while he was at sea,
I called up my friend at the house asking him if he could start up the car. And when he went outside, he said, "I can't find your car."
He thought it had either been stolen or towed. He didn't know.
It sucked that I heard that my car potentially is missing, but I couldn't let that get in the way of what I needed to focus on for that deployment.
When he got back to San Diego after 4 months at sea, he contacted the Chula Vista Police Department. Turns out his car had been towed for expired registration. They told him Tony's Auto Center on 3rd Avenue towed it, so he went there to get it back.
I asked them, can you run this plate through the system, please? And they told me that, unfortunately, that vehicle has been auctioned off.
Tony's Auto sold his car at auction for $1,200. They claim it accumulated fees of about $6,000 while impounded for 2 months. In a complaint filed last week by the U.S. Attorney General on behalf of the federal government, they say Tony's Auto violated the Service Members Civil Relief Act by selling off his car without a court order. This law offers protections to those on active duty and their property, as they're often overseas and unreachable. I called Tony's Auto Center for comment and have not yet heard back. Lieutenant Leonkson recommends parking your car off the street, like in a garage or in storage, while on deployment.
If you really want to prevent that from happening, make sure to put your car in a very safe place. But of course, sometimes these things happen.
At the time, he was still paying off a car loan from Navy Federal Credit Union and had about $2,500 left on it, which he still had to pay. He's hoping to recoup that money through this legal action, while also helping other service members in similar situations. In Chula Vista, Brian White, CBS 8.
Brian, thank you. The city of San Diego is repairing a major leak in a 36-inch water main off Black Mountain in Rancho Penasquitos. CBS 8's David Gottfredson has been working for you to investigate reports of water flooding backyards in the neighborhood for months.
The city of San Diego had to bring in heavy equipment to dig down and locate the break in this 36-inch water main at the foot of Black Mountain on Carmel Valley Road. Repairs started on Wednesday, and within days, neighbor John Jeskowiak noticed the water flow from his backyard almost completely dried up.
Something that the city is doing up there is making an improvement, because this water just slowed down and stopped here in literally 24 hours.
John has been in contact with CBS 8 ever since we started reporting 2 weeks ago on flooding in people's backyards in Rancho Penasquitos below Black Mountain.
I saw your report on the houses that had flooding in their backyard.
Last week, mountain biker Amy Harris emailed me about the water flowing near the entrance to Black Mountain Open Space Park, and within 2 days, city workers responded.
I didn't think I was going to even get a response, and then here you were on Monday, and now there's trucks out there and the road's closed, so it's pretty exciting.
The large water transmission line connects to a cement reservoir above the neighborhood on the side of Black Mountain. Recycled water is stored in a nearby green water tank at the same location. Unfortunately, the water flow continues farther downstream on Westcott Court. 3 next-door neighbors here have dug trenches into their backyards so they can pump the water out to the street. I reached out to the city for an update. A spokesperson said crews dug 3 trenches along Black Mountain Road last week and found no signs of a leak in the underground water mains between Calle de Vista Oeste and Westvale Road. Crews will continue to investigate the area this week. It's still going to take a couple more days to finish repairs on this water main. We'll keep monitoring the neighbors' backyards down below to see if it has any effect on the water flow. David Gottfredson, CBS 8.
Now to a Working For You follow-up. We first told you about a group of SDSU students slapped with a $16,000 water bill back in June. Since our report in after weeks of fighting the Public Utilities Department, we have learned that they were able to get the bill knocked down to $3,000. No one knows why or how, but one of their mothers helped get them a series of adjustments. She says one indicated COVID-19 relief, but other adjustments had no explanation. We're told the students have since moved out of that home and they are happy to put this situation behind them. People living in Mira Mesa want to know why the city of San Diego is chopping down dozens of trees at a popular park. CBS 8's Jasmine Ramirez is working for you and shares the details of this new multi-million-dollar improvement project at Mira Mesa Community Park.
The city just started on its renovation project here at the park. Now the city says it plans to remove 68 trees. That's to make room for a pool and a skate park. Today, crews began chopping down the trees at Mira Mesa Community Park.
They're very big, beautiful trees that took a long time to grow. And kids would love to climb trees and play with them, get sticks off the ground. I mean, a tree is better than any playground you can build. And they're already there. You just have to keep them.
Lisa and her neighbor Martha Martin visit the park every day.
I really wish that they had just planned with the trees. These trees are an asset.
It doesn't make sense to take out an asset to put an asset in.
They're shocked to see the trees chopped down. Martha was there this morning as crews cut down the first tree.
I wish they'd have done better outreach so that we could have gotten more involved.
Working for you, I reached out to the city. The city confirmed 68 trees will be cut down and 4 trees will be relocated to a different area of the park. To offset the removals, the city plans to plant 75 new trees and have enhanced landscaping.
If you call the council member's office and you call the mayor's office, they'll tell you they're getting a ton of calls. So it's obvious the community doesn't want this. They want a plan that includes the trees.
Tonight, I also learned that when the project is completed, it will also include a new aquatic center in the area that is now occupied by the outdoor basketball courts, which will be moved to a different location. There will also be a new all-wheel skate park. The city tells me the park improvement project will be done in summer of 2026. Jasmine Ramirez, CBS 8.
Still to come, controversy at the Coronado golf course, except this dispute has nothing to do with slow play or someone talking in your backswing. We'll show you why someone is suing over a decades-old agreement. Then later on, protection dogs are becoming more popular. We'll show you what these dogs are learning. Tonight, a man living in Coronado is filing a lawsuit against the Port of San Diego over what he claims is a misuse of public lands at the Coronado golf course. CBS 8's Brian White is working for you and breaks down the claims in this lawsuit.
The lawsuit was filed just days ago by a man who lives just down the street here from the golf course, and he says that the city's lease agreement with the Port of San Diego for these public lands has very specific parameters.
Since it opened in 1957, the Coronado golf course has been one of the city's most treasured assets. This public bayfront par 72 course is rated one of the best in the country.
It's used all the time. It's a great asset for not just Coronado, but the entire community.
Coronado leases the property from the San Diego Unified Port District, an agreement dating back to the 60s. And the city actually doesn't pay any rent for it. The problem is, according to the lawsuit, the city has allowed a private restaurant and wedding venue, Feast and Fairway, to operate there on public land for more than 5 years.
This is used and considered to be a park. And so the port prohibited profit-making ventures such as a restaurant, a motel, a cocktail lounge.
Matthew Herron has lived near the golf course for the better part of 40 years. He and his wife frequented the restaurant when it opened, but after a dispute his wife had with staff, she was 86'd by the manager, and they haven't been back in 4 years.
I have a great deal of concern that the city has put the operator in full control of who gets to come there or not.
Part of the problem, he says, is the venue is oftentimes closed to the public for private events.
So this was supposed to just be a snack bar for the golfers, and is now turned into a for-profit profit center.
Herron says when the city put out a request for a proposal for a restaurant here back in 2017, they claimed to own the land when actually it's owned by the Port of San Diego.
Where does it end? Once you say you own something, you can do whatever you want there. They could put a hotel on that property.
I reached out to the city of Coronado and Port of San Diego, and they both declined to comment. I also spoke with the manager at Feast and Fairway, and she passed along my request for comment to corporate, but I have not yet heard back. In Coronado, Brian White, CBS 8.
Next, using dogs to protect your home or family. We'll show you why more and more people are turning to so-called guard dog training classes. We all love our dogs, but will your dog save you if someone breaks into your home? More San Diegans are getting guard dogs. They are called personal protection dogs now, and CBS 8's Alex Lai got to see one in action.
It's proven that the sound of a dog barking inside of your home can make you less of a target for break-ins. That's one reason why getting a protection dog is becoming more popular.
All right, get her off, get her off.
It gives us kind of the sense of security, and we kind of say it's a security system you can take with you.
Specialty dog training in Oceanside has all levels of trained dogs. Many of them live in houses with families, children, and other pets.
Having a dog that is well trained and able to be in those social situations, but also able to be a deterrent for any unwanted threats or activity.
Director of Training Nikki Moore has a personal protection dog.
I love taking him with me, when I'm going to a park or when I'm going to get gas late at night, when I'm going to the ATM.
Specialty dog training dogs are trained in house manners, socialization, advanced obedience, protection work, and more. These dogs are becoming a popular tool to guard people in homes and also just for peace of mind.
A lot of our clients have had previous break-ins and kind of want a dog to prevent that from happening again, or live in areas that have a real threat of breaking in, and so it gives them sort of that peace of mind.
So what will a protection dog do in times of danger? I got a demonstration with the German Shepherd Athena.
Having an uncomfortable situation, a threat presenting, and having the dog bark until the threat leaves and kind of dissipates. The second piece is that apprehension piece, where the threat isn't willing to go away after just the barking, that they are kind of pursuing, and closing that physical distance and physical threat is when we allow the dog to bite the person.
While having any dog in the house is a deterrent for break-ins, sadly, your dog at home probably can't be trained to protect you. Moore says breeding and early training is what makes a good protection dog.
A lot of people are under the assumption that their dog will protect them, no matter what, and it's just not the case, unfortunately.
And having any type of dog is still a big responsibility.
You have to be willing to do the work with the handling process with us, and be willing to keep up that training at home.
Alex Lai, CBS 8.
Consumer Reports revealed its picks for the best used cars. The list includes vehicles that are 5 to 10 years old from 26 different car brands. Lexus, Toyota, and Mazda topped their rankings of the most reliable used car brands. Consumer Reports surveyed its members about issues with their vehicles, breaking them down into major and minor problems. Top picks are reliable, safe, and performed well in tests when they were new.
Used car market, it's starting to rebound a little bit. So in the last year, prices have started to come down about 10%, and inventory's up a little bit too compared to the pandemic. And so all that means you're more likely to find the car that you actually want and hopefully pay a more reasonable price for it.
The average price for a new car right now is about $48,000. The number of so-called 401k millionaires hit a new record high in the second quarter. That's according to some new data from Fidelity Investments. The report looked at 24 million accounts across 26,000 employer-sponsored plans. As of June, nearly 500,000 401k accounts had a balance of $1 million or more. The average 401k balance across all participants is about $127,000. That average is up 13% from this time a year ago. That's going to do it for us. Remember, if there is something that you would like us to look into, just email us at workingforyou@cbs8.com. Thanks so much, and we'll see you next time.